Hello and welcome. Let us look at this question that came in the year 2015 and is related to two organizations, IUCN and CITES. The question is, with reference to the International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources IUCN and the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Flora and Fauna, which of the following statements are correct? IUCN is an organ of the United Nations and CITES is an international agreement between governments. Number 2, IUCN runs thousands of field projects around the world to better manage natural environments. And number 3, CITES is legally binding on the states that have joined it, but this convention does not take the place of national laws. Now, let us look at the organizations. First, IUCN. IUCN was formed in the year 1948 in Fontainebleau, France. And this is an organization that includes both government and other organizations like civil society. So IUCN is not a member of UN or not an organ of UN, but it got observer status in UN in the year 1998. IUCN basically deals with various conservation measures like Ramsar Convention on Wetlands, that was signed in the year 1971. Then World Heritage Convention. Also, it played major role in UNFCCC Rio Summit. So IUCN basically deals with the study of species that are threatened. Study of species. They produce list like red list. So this is about IUCN. As far as CITES is concerned, then CITES is regarding threatened species and it came up with 3 appendices. Appendix 1, Appendix 2 and Appendix 3, and based on the status of threatening to this species that are on the verge of extinction, are under Appendix 1. Species that are not on the verge of extinction but can seriously decline, their population can seriously decline, serious decline of population, are under Appendix 2. And in Appendix 3, species that are at least threatened in one of the signing countries, species that are threatened in one of the CITES party countries, they fall in Appendix 3. So basically, CITES deal with the trade of endangered species. They basically control the trade of endangered species, and not only the living species but products related to species like food products if it is a plant product, or animal product, clothing, food, souvenirs, all are restricted as far as this threatened or endangered species are concerned. So, CITES is a legally binding treaty. Legally binding treaty. Now, if we see the question, IUCN is not an organ but having observer status in UN. So, first statement is incorrect. Second, IUCN run thousands of field projects around the world to better manage natural environments. This is correct. And third, CITES is legally binding on the states that have joined it, but this convention does not take the place of national laws. So, third statement is also correct. So, our answer for this question will be B, 2 and 3. Now, as far as CITES is concerned, there is one more fact related to CITES, that in the year 2022, an amendment was done in Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Wildlife Protection Act of 1972 was amended in 2022, and in this 4 schedules were there. In 1972 Act, there were 6 schedules. But now in Wildlife Protection Act, there are 4 schedules. First schedule is related to animals that have higher degree of protection. Second schedule, animals that have lesser degree of protection. Third schedule is related to CITES appendix species, that is appendix 1, 2 and 3 species. So this schedule of Wildlife Protection Act talks about CITES appendix species, and fourth schedule is related to the plant species that are protected under Wildlife Protection Act 1972, which is amended in 2022. Whereas the earlier 6 schedules were related to 1, 2, 3 and 4 were related to animals, in which 1 and 2 had animals with higher degree of protection, 3 and 4 had animals with lesser degree of protection. Schedule 5 was related to vermin, that is those species that are to be culled or killed. Culling of species was done under this Schedule 5 of Wildlife Protection Act 1972, and 6th schedule was related to plant species that are to be protected. So there were 6 schedules in Wildlife Protection Act 1972, which is amended in 2002, in which 4 schedules are there, in which third schedule talks about CITES appendix species. So CITES has legally binding status, but they cannot take the place of national laws. So B is the correct answer as far as this question is concerned. Thank you.